What's up, y'all? It's your girl Sang, and today we're going to be reacting to another insane woke religion TikTok. This one is from Ben Shapiro. Michael Knowles has one up too, but if you guys remember last time I did the first one from Ben Shapiro, I was like, I'm going to also do the one for Michael. Yeah, so that didn't happen because Michael reacted to the same exact ones. So now that Ben has the second one, Michael also has one up too. So once again, we're going to bypass Michael because I'm pretty sure it's the same TikToks, but let's go ahead and get into it and see what these ones are wrong about.
Gender is a construct and it's all affirmed in the good book itself.
Jesus was non-binary.
No!
We in the Jewish community are horrified.
Alrighty, folks, my producers decided to torture me with more woke TikToks, this time about...
Just before we get into it real quick, round of applause for the editors. Y'all did a great job. Also, Prince of Egypt, W movie, y'all gotta go see that.
About religion. I cannot wait to listen to what these idiots have to say about religion. I mean, I
He
can,
looks done.
but I literally can't because my producers are about to show it to me. This video is sponsored by ExpressVPN.
Let's see what they're wrong about this time.
This is the wrong question.
Let's see what it says. It says, so then, where does the Bible state being gay is not a sin? God says a man and a woman are united in one, period. Okay.
The correct question is, where does the Bible condemn LGBT relationships? And the answer is nowhere.
Leviticus...
That's false. That's false. It condemns it in a lot of places. But okay.
It's 1822. Man, I don't mean to
there
be
you go.
didactic about this, but it's like right there. Anyway, continue. And it doesn't condemn relationships, it condemns homosexual activity.
Now you're going to name the 6 clobber passages, the verses that conservatives claim condemn LGBT relationships. But if you actually look at those verses in their culture context, in their literary context, and in their original language, you will quickly find out after a 20-minute Google search that none of those verses actually refer to what we're talking about when we talk about modern loving same-sex relationships.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It literally talks about... And this goes back to the one video I did where the one chick, she had on the fake preacher outfit and she was just like, the word homosexual wasn't added till this time, so they couldn't have been talking about gay people. You can still talk about a man shouldn't be laying with a man with the word homosexual not even being created yet. Just saying, it's a thing. Even what he's about to get into, which I'm pretty sure is about to be some BS of context, time, and history. Yeah, so even though people did lay with each other, God said we wasn't supposed to. God said that. I didn't say that. He said that. And it's crazy because, like, I'm a baby into all of this. Yet I know this. Because I've actually read my Bible. You talking about a 20-minute Google search. Did you actually read anything? I doubt it. But let's continue.
Instead, they're condemning a practice known as temple prostitution
Wrong.
or sexual exploitation
Nope.
and abuse.
Wrong.
Those
That's
are
wrong.
things that should be condemned. But loving consensual LGBT relationships, they're not an affront to God, but a reflection of God's own love. They're a reflection of God's own creativity. And there's not a single
No.
place in the scriptures where our love, our marriages, or our being is condemned.
It is. It is. If you actually read your Bible. Because funnily enough, remember I told y'all I keep bouncing around from book to book, right? By me doing that, I done seen a lot. I done read a lot. God tells us everything in that book. He tells us everything. How to live, how to raise your kids, how to be a man, how to be a woman. All of it is in the book. But y'all want to bypass that so bad. So bad. Ugh.
Okay, no one's condemning anybody's being. People are condemning sin. When the Bible has an entire list of sexual sins, and it includes among those what's called in Hebrew mishkav zachar, lying with a male is one would lie with a female in Leviticus, the text is clear. Now, you may not like the text, you may not agree with the text, but the hijacking of the text to pretend it means something that it clearly does not is very silly. I'm sorry that the text makes you feel bad. I'm sorry that there are some people who think that activities that you enjoy pursuing or feel compelled to pursue or feel impelled to pursue, rather. I'm sorry there are people who make you feel bad about that. You don't get to hijack biblical text and pretend it says something that it absolutely does not. That is
Facts.
a violation of taking God's name in vain.
The Bible.
Facts.
This is the Bible. You question the word?
Yeah, like it's... This is another thing that we literally talked about in one of my other videos. everybody wants to do what's socially acceptable, but majority of the time what's socially acceptable is not biblically correct, right? Y'all want to have so much fun and do whatever y'all want without the consequences, and I promise you, it's not worth it. It's not worth any of that, okay? All right, let's just get back into it.
All right, so to all the religious people, can we just talk about something real quick? Okay. All right, so let's talk about religion. Do y'all realize that all religion was man-made? All of these religions that exist today were all made by men, meaning that whenever life first existed on Earth, there was no such thing as religion. For hundreds and thousands of years, many people lived life without worshiping a religion.
Bro, I used to have this same stupid mentality when I was an atheist. It's just simply not true. It's literally not true. But let's hear how wrong he is, I guess.
And then along the timeline, religion began to be made by humans. And so my point that I'm trying to get across is that there is no such thing as one right religion.
Hey, they getting lit on stage right now. Oh, look at them hit the steps. They hit y'all with that footwork. If
there was such thing as a right religion, it would have been made as soon as life on Earth existed.
Yeah, it was. It literally was. God made... I guess I can't be too upset. This used to be me. This guy right here. That whole thought process, I used to be this stupid. That's crazy.
But instead, religion was made along the timeline. Religion was made by man and not God himself. And so I just want y'all to keep this in mind whenever discussing religion with somebody.
It was made across the timeline, not by man, not by God itself. Stupid.
So, when the amoebas were on the Earth, there would have been conveyed to whom? Like protoplasm or what? Who exactly would there to be there to receive the religion? Also, the idea that religion was ever not a part of human life is very silly. If you look back to caveman days, there are cave paintings that have various cultic gods involved. And religion is a universal of human life. It has been a universal of human life since the human brain was capable of grasping the world. Now, you can make the case that none of the religions are true. Sure, go ahead and make that case. That's fine. We can have that discussion. But the idea that
we can have that discussion, yeah. You can sit there and be like, none of this is true. You're crazy for believing this. But like I said in another video, let's just say you are correct, right? Every religious person is living their life a certain way, being good people. We happy. We are happy with how we are living and what we're doing. We're living a good life, right? Let's just say you're right and all of this is BS, okay? When our end comes and you believe that it's just nothingness or reincarnate, whatever y'all believe, right? That's not a bad thing at the end. Like, if you end up being right, all that happens is that we lived good lives and then we move on to whatever the next thing is, right? Or be like, everybody gets to go to heaven because we're all good people unless you do some crazy thing that you go to jail for, right? Okay, well, at the end of the day, how we living, we good then, regardless. Now, to flip it on you, if I'm right and all the other religious people right, that practice my religion, mind you, if we are right, which I believe 100% I am correct, right? Not only am I living a good life here, I'm going to have a good afterlife. I'm going to be cool. I'm going to be chilling, right? Everything going to be gravy for me. You the one that's going to have a problem, okay? Because you didn't want to listen on your time here. Your afterlife is going to be horrible. I'm telling you right now. And it's eternity. I know our little human brains can't comprehend eternity. Bro, you're going to be tortured forever. Forever. I'm going to be good. As long as I do what I'm supposed to do here and I'm happy and I'm living a happy life, I'm still going to be good in my afterlife. You the one that's going to suffer. Either way, I'm living a good life regardless. Whether I'm right, which I wholeheartedly believe I am, or if you're right. I don't believe you are, but let's just say for the sake of argument, I'm good regardless. You the one that's gonna be in with the issues and the problems. I'm telling you.
There cannot be a true religion because religion didn't exist before there were human minds to grasp it.
Firmly grasp it!
Is very bizarre. It's a weird argument. That's like saying, well, language was man-made, so language is not an actual attribute of the world. Because before human beings, there weren't actual spoken languages.
Hi there.
And does that mean that language is not a natural part of the world? Or that I don't even understand the point this person is attempting to make here. Well, science didn't exist before humans, because it takes the human mind to grasp science. So I guess science is also false, because if science really existed, it would exist for the amoebas, or what?
It's alright, Ben. How do they work? It's alright. He don't know what he's talking about, Ben. It's alright. I get it. I used to be this person. Is this about to be the ad? This is about to be the ad. So we about to... Oh, let's pop back right into... Right here.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear you out.
And before you respond in defense, just meditate on it and think about it for a few minutes. We all know that during slavery, slaves were not allowed to read or write. This is because applied knowledge is power. And the last thing a slave master wanted a slave to have was any power. If you were caught reading, you were punished, brutally beaten. Like, they would make an example out of you. So then, why would they give you the Bible and tell you that the Bible is the perfect word of God and the most powerful book there is? It literally says, slaves, obey your masters with fear and trembling, just as you will obey Christ.
First off, her history is... I'm gonna let her finish first, but she's taking everything wrong about the history of our ancestors.
Slaves, in reverent fear of God, submit yourselves to your masters, not only those who are good, but those who are evil. Y'all really think God wrote that? Like, the creator of everything wrote that? The omnibenevolent being wrote that?
Are you...
First off, and I'm gonna leave it right here too, because it's messed up. She got everything wrong, okay? First off, they didn't push the actual religion. They pushed that whitewashed BS where it's like, we gonna tell you what we want you to think. They didn't actually push the true religion onto us. They didn't do that. That's why a lot of us now that are black heavily reject religion, because we always think back to slavery and we be like, oh no, y'all pushed that on our people and blah, blah, blah. That's where she's coming from. She is completely wrong, right? And we always want to think about that too. We want to be like, black people didn't know about Christianity until slavery times, because that's what was pushed onto us. Not knowing that actually Christianity was practiced in Africa, okay, where our actual ancestors come from. Way, like, it was like, what, 100 AD or some crap when it was actually pushed. It was that early on the timeline, okay? I may be a little bit off in my years, but it was that early in the timeline. We didn't get it. Okay, we didn't first get it during slavery. That didn't happen. So she actually needs to learn her history before she just starts spouting nonsense, okay? We got the whitewashed BS, which came from Catholicism, first off. And I'm not hating on Catholicism. I'm just saying where it came from. Now, because these people were evil and used it evilly, doesn't inherently mean that whoever practices this is also evil or wrong. That's just like me saying all white people are evil because of slavery. All white people are not evil, right? So it's the same thing, right? But that's just the history part of it. But she gotta learn her history.
Sure about that.
A God who condones slavery is a God I don't want to do with.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's looking at it completely incorrect. She actually needs to learn the proper part of her history, even that including Christianity. Because I didn't learn about the Christianity part on when we was actually practicing it back in Africa until like June or something. So yeah, she's just off on that. She's just completely off. And I get it as a black person, but gotta do better.
So, number one, the basic idea that the slave masters who handed their slaves the Bible and taught them to read in defiance of the common law of the time. There is actual law on the books preventing slaves from being literate. The idea that they were doing so in order to subordinate slaves because the Bible is a pro-slavery document is pretty bizarre, given the fact that the Bible was used to teach literally all human beings to read for a couple of thousand years there, slave or non-slave, black or white. As far as the argument that God would never condone slavery, the answer is that God is speaking to people who are receiving the Torah.
You want a Torah?
Nah, I'm not hungry.
You do have to understand the Bible in the historical sense that what it was doing was speaking to a group of people at a particular time. It's also speaking to us down the ages, but the Bible is an anti-slavery document. It transitions slavery from being a brutally submissive regime to one where, according to the Talmud, you're supposed to feed your slaves before you feed yourselves. If you damage your slave, you're supposed to free your slave. Again, this is a transitional step toward the abolition of slavery, which is something that every single abolitionist understood, which is why all the abolitionists, pretty much, were very religious people who cited the Bible frequently. And so are all the civil rights leaders, up to and including Martin Luther King Jr. So, again.
Yeah, she's taking it wrong and out of context. Like, it just is what it is, you know? Because he is right. If you actually read, I mean, he said the Torah, that's the Old Testament, essentially. Basically, what's in there, God was even feeling for his own people, and he wanted them to be lifted out of the bondage of slavery and all that, of what was going on in Egypt. That's why he had Moses get them up on up out of there to the promised land of milk and honey. Y'all. But she don't understand that she doesn't actually read the Bible. I used to be her when I was an atheist, because that's what was taught to me when I was coming up, right? From other black people. It's like, oh, that's a man-made book, and that's not real, and this and that. No, when you actually learn your history, you get up out of all of that.
Yeah, this notion that the Bible is a pro-slavery document is failing to read it in the historical context in which it was written. It was written as an anti-slavery document in a very pro-slavery time.
What they don't tell you about homosexuality. Despite what you've been told and what you may have heard, homosexuality has a divine purpose on earth. Homosexuality is actually common all throughout nature. It is very natural. It is a homophobia in humanity that's not natural. In indigenous times, these beings were revered, looked at as gods and goddesses, because they were understood to have brought a divine message to a community. These beings aren't to be outcasted. These beings are to be worshipped. These beings came here.
First off, there's only one God, all right, and it's the one that created us, but
to help us. The homosexual spirit is here on earth because there's an imbalance between masculine and feminine energy. These beings came to help restore that.
That seems pretty religious right there. They're heavenly beings. Okay, what makes them more heavenly than... Well, he just says so. To restore divine energies of male and female by not procreating and not...
That's something else y'all gotta understand. We already talked about homosexuality, what, in the first TikTok they showed or whatever, but bro, it's not a thing. It's not allowed. Just because people are doing it doesn't mean God allows it. Like, God said 1 man, 1 woman, and that's for the whole purpose of procreating. Like, you need to keep procreating for life. Also, there's another video I did where we reacted to something that Michael Knowles... Oh, when Michael Knowles was talking about the woke TikTok, right? There's a whole document from Planned Parenthood around the time period, if we go back, where that dude was talking, and it showed... It said in the 50s or something. It was around here somewhere. About the anglerfish. Here it is. Research going back to the 1950s and all that. There's a document from Planned Parenthood from 1969 where they literally, in that document, they said they want to encourage pushing homosexuality out onto the people. Because that wasn't big at the time. That's not to say there wasn't gay people, but it wasn't heavily pushing out there in our face where everybody wants to be gay, to the point now where they're trying to tell us that babies in the womb can tell us if they want to be a boy or a girl or not, and they can pick if they're trans or not. It's like, shut up. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. So...
Sorry, I don't know how to help with that. Here are other things you can try.
This little Google hub just be talking.
Now, so Google can improve, it would help to know how satisfied you are with my response. How would you rate it if one's the worst and five's the best?
It's still talking. Nobody's talking to it, and it is still talking. It's just me and my cat. Now, unless my cat knows how to speak English, I don't know why that thing just break off talking on its own sometimes. But anyways, back to this. This dude just pushing nonsense. Most atheists will find like 1 sentence or 2 sentences to go with, you know, whatever angle they trying to push, and they just push it, and it's wrong. All of it is just wrong.
And feminine energy. These
heavenly beings. Okay, what makes them more heavenly than... Well, he just says so. To restore divine energies of male and female by not procreating and not balancing male and female. That is an interesting take. Again, believe what you want about the morality of various forms of sexual activity, but it is a fairly religious perspective that gay people were put on Earth as oracles.
You're the oracle? Not quite what you were expecting, right?
That's a new one. I had not, in fact, heard that. There's an argument that's
Never
frequently made that I find very bizarre, which is a behavior is natural. It exists in the natural world. Therefore, it is acceptable and good. I'm unaware of any other behavior other than sexual activity where we say this. Really, name a human behavior that is controversial in nature. Ask yourself whether anyone has ever argued that because it exists in the natural world, it is therefore good. Animals routinely kill each other. Is that considered natural and good among human beings because we do have a murderous instinct? Again, you can make the case on a consent basis. There's a libertarian case for homosexual activity and government involvement. You can make these cases, but these folks are not making a very good case, I will say that. Alrighty, so that was just horrifying.
Yeah, so that's the video. I was expecting more of a freak out from him like last time, but he just seemed tired. He just seemed over it. And I don't blame you, Ben. I don't blame you. But if you guys want to see me react to more videos just like this one, let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure to also like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss when I drop a video. Oh, I can let y'all know now, if I do have to miss a video drop or a day or whatever, I can update y'all on YouTube now. So basically, I'm able to make a community tab. So if you see a video didn't go up and it's like my community post just isn't showing in your subscription timeline or your home feed, actually go to my channel and you'll see a community tab up there now. And you just click on it and yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. I can update you guys through this way now. So I'm pretty good on that. But until next time, you already know who it is. It's Sang.